Welcome to Live with Crabtree Coaching Collaborative, your compass for educational excellence. Now, as instructional leaders, we want to avoid that overwhelming sense of burnout and exhaustion because of all of those different competing priorities. We want to avoid our staff members becoming utterly frustrated because they cannot keep up with the demands. And let's face it, we want to avoid just having that lack of confidence because we don't feel like we're making any progress. That's why you're here, right? My name is Alyssa Crabtree, and with over 16 years of experience, I am here to help you gain clarity, amplify your learning like never before, and hone in on intentionality. This is where transformation begins, and excellence is always the standard. Remember, we are in this together, my friends, so let's do this thing.
Happy Friday, everyone. Can I get a heck yeah in the chat? It is a Friday. So excited to be with you tonight. And I apologize for my voice. I think all the weather change and everything's getting me a little under the weather, but hey, that's okay. Today has been a glorious day, and I'm excited to be with you tonight. I really wanted to come on here and talk about something that is near and dear to my heart. And this is all about the relationship between the principal and the instructional coach. So if you are an instructional coach, I want you to send this video to your principal. If you're a principal, I want you to send this to your instructional coach because this is vital information, and it is often the component that is missing on campuses and creates a lot of confusion and actually ineffective coaching. So let me share my screen with you real quick. If I, could get my life right. Here we go. Share. Okay, so you might have seen this on my reels on social media, but my title has always been like 3 ways principals should support instructional coaches. And just like a side note, I went back and forth for way too long and overthought could or should. Should I put could support or should support? And I'm going to tell you, no, I wanted to put should. This is what every administrator who has an instructional coach should do. Like, this is a directive, because if you really want to monopolize on the power of your instructional coaches, these are things that have to happen in order for that to occur. And we know instructional coaching is one of the number one ways that we can strengthen teacher instruction. Number one way to provide professional learning. So why not make it as impactful as it can be? So administrators, this one's for you. The top 3 things that a principal should do to support their instructional coaches is 1, clarify, 2, collaborate, and 3, grow. So let's get into it. And if you're here with me tonight and you disagree with something, or you have a question about something, or maybe you're watching the replay, put in the comments anything that you're thinking, maybe an experience that you've had. And like I said, maybe you just want to disagree. That's okay too. Let's talk about it. But the first thing that I want to bring up is clarify the purpose, the benefits of instructional coaching to all stakeholders. And I'm not talking about send it in an email. And I'm not talking about, hey, at the beginning of the year, this is your instructional coach. They're going to help you strengthen your craft in the classroom. That is not clarifying the role. And what I mean by clarifying the role is really sitting down with all stakeholders, anyone who's going to have involvement with the coach, and you discuss and collaborate on what coaching is and is not. Clearly define it. Maybe provide research articles, show videos of the power of coaching. And I'm going to tell you, analogies are extremely powerful. English teacher here. So if you want to talk about a professional basketball coach, this is the one I always use, is LeBron James still has a coach. Could his coach beat him on the court? No, not at all. However, LeBron James still trusts that coach. He needs that coach because coaches can sit on the sidelines and they can see everything that the players can't. And they can discuss ways and help facilitate reflective conversations so that the player, who would be the teacher, can strengthen their craft. But not everyone has a full understanding of this. And oftentimes, coaches are misused and abused. They are seen as only a resource, like, oh, they must have all the cool resources, or they must, be the one that I can go to anytime that I'm, needing to find this, or I need to find this, or I need to know how to do this, all compliance based. That's not what a coach does. That's part of it, but that's not all of it. And really the power of a coach is when they can work side by side with the teacher to strengthen that teacher's craft. And so really clarifying that role. Another thing that teachers often have the misconception of is that a coach is an evaluator. They're just going to come in and judge me and tell me what I'm doing wrong. No, that's not it. A coach is a partner. They are a partner, and they're there to help you reflect and to come up with your own solutions, but help you learn through the process. And so administrators across the board, sit down with all stakeholders and clarify the role, what it is not. And then I don't want you to stop there. I want you to continue to reiterate it. Talk about coaching. Talk about the power of coaching. Bring up during staff meetings someone who's going through a coaching cycle and how they're growing. Reward those efforts and reward that growth so that you are creating a culture of coaching. So principals, that's the number one thing. You cannot have just your coaches do that job. It has to come from you, because a coach is not an evaluator. A coach is not above any, it's not a higher role. It is someone who's there to help facilitate growth. And as the evaluator, as the boss, we need you to go out and spread the message and develop that culture of coaching. All right, so let's go on to collaborate. Every time I hear this, we'll be like, stop, collaborate, and listen. Like that's where I always want to go. But so collaborate. Here is something that it can be a little hard sometimes because schedules are crazy. However, you must intentionally schedule frequent and consistent meetings between you and the coach. Coach, are you meeting with your principal weekly? If not, why not? Have you not requested it? And I'm going to tell you this right now, coaches. A principal has never said, hey, Alyssa, we need to meet weekly. Let's set up a schedule. No, I had to do it. So coaches, I want you on Monday to go to your administrator and set up weekly, bi-weekly meetings, because there needs to be a communication of what is happening on the campus. What's the vision? What's the goal? Because I'm here to tell you, teachers are not leaving the profession because of money. Yeah, we all want more money, and we do way too much for what we get paid for. But they would have left a really long time ago if that were the case. The reason we are struggling with teacher retention right now is because of the 20 million messages coming at the teacher 24/7, mixed messages, conflicting messages. I guess that's the same thing. And too much stuff is trickling down. Way too much stuff is trickling down. So if, as the instructional coach, I am giving specific feedback, but then their appraiser comes in and gives different feedback, and then the campus coordinator comes in and gives different feedback, like all of that is contradictory or conflicting and overwhelms the teacher. That's way too much. That's too many things, because then they're going to be like, well, I must suck at my job. I must be horrible at this. And that is not the case. That is not the case. But what would be powerful is if myself and the administrator have communicated and collaborated, and we've discussed and clarified the goals of these teachers, and I'm like, oh yes, we're working on this strategy and this has been so wonderful. And then the principal comes in and they also see that same growth and they tell the teacher, do you know that teachers are motivated, adults, not just teachers, adults are motivated by competence. What I mean by that is they want to know that they can do something, that they have the ability. And if they see those small wins, their confidence is going to go up. But if the administration and the coordinators and the coaches, they all have different ideas of where this teacher should grow, that teacher's never going to receive the competence, the confidence that they deserve. So if we want to talk about teacher attrition, and we want to talk about how to get teachers excited about their jobs and how to love their jobs again, more people need to get on the same page. We have to strengthen communication. And when we do that, we reduce overwhelm. I'm off my soapbox for a second. No, I'm not, because I'm going to go through one more and I'll be on my soapbox again. It's Friday. It's Friday. Give me another heck yeah. It's Friday. All right, so now let's talk about grow. Oh my goodness. If you are an instructional coach in here or even watching the replay, were you just like this rock star, stellar teacher and people were like, oh, you should be a coach because you're so good? And I know that in so many cases that happens, that makes sense, right? You are an amazing teacher. You must be an amazing coach, or you must be an amazing principal. Kids are different than adults. Teaching children is a little different than teaching adults. And so it is your responsibility, principals and coordinators and superintendents, anyone watching this, and even coaches. I'm going to put it on you too. We have to seek to grow. We have to seek to grow all the time. And administrators, what kind of support are you providing for your instructional coaches? We need to provide coaching opportunities for our coaches. So do we have coordinators in the house that are going to come and coach? Do we have outside people coming in to coach? Maybe we have teachers coaching coaches, all of these different things, but we need to provide opportunities to grow. We need to conduct or obtain training to support the coach in understanding of adult learning and motivation. It is not enough to teach coaches a certain protocol. So I might use, I'm sorry, my dog's about to go crazy. He's being a tizzy. I'm so sorry. I don't even know what he's barking at, but oh man, I lost my train of thought. Thanks, Frankie. There we go. So what I was thinking of is protocols. You might adopt something like Get Better Faster, or you might adopt Jim Knight's Impact Cycle, or you might adopt Diane Sweeney's Student Center Coaching, whatever cycle formula you prescribe to. It is not enough to stop there. We have to give our coaches the tools to understand how to coach adults, coach people with egos, coach people who don't want to be coached. Like, we have to provide them with an understanding of even how to pull teachers into coaching cycles. How are we motivating them? I was a guest on a podcast this morning, the Whole Educator podcast. I'm so excited for this episode to come out. But one of the things that we had discussed was John Hattie's scale of influence. And so when we're talking about taking students from compliant to engaged to having agency, it's the same thing we want for our adult learners. Yes, there needs to be that compliant piece, but we don't want them to just do it to check something off the box. We want to move them from compliance to engaged to, oh, I'm liking this. This is good, to agency, to seeking out new opportunities to learn. Administrators, you want teachers to seek out the coaches to grow. And we need to provide coaches with the know-how of how to do that. And I know, like, you're just might be like, Alyssa, well, when am I going to have the time to do this? When you can find those resources by hiring coaches and consultants. Myself, I do that. I have other friends that do that as well. I can hook you up. But this is something that our coaches definitely need, because we want to celebrate the coaches' wins. And coaches need that opportunity to see their wins and celebrate as well. So I know I kind of just went all over a little soapbox today, but I am so passionate about this. And I know if we do not have a teacher-administrator relationship, coaching will not be successful. And unfortunately, I talk to so many coaches who have yet to have a meeting with their principals. They're like, well, I never see my principal. My principal doesn't know what I'm doing. I don't even think my principal knows what a coach is. And that breaks my heart. So if you are an assistant principal who is an evaluator over a particular department, and you are fortunate, you're blessed enough to have a coach, I need you to meet with them weekly or twice a month. It needs to happen. Coaches, they're not going to come to you and ask to meet because they're so busy. You need to go, ask them to meet, set it on your calendar, do a whole year long calendar, whole year long. That's what I have always done. I send a calendar invite for the entire year so they know not to schedule anything. And I'm going to tell you this, principals always made time for me. They always made time for me. It was a rare occasion that something had to be moved. It's education. It's going to happen. But principals always made time for me. So I know that they will make time for you too. If you want more information on this, go to my website at crabtreecoachingcollaborative.org. I'm going to put it right here, a little banner here, and I'm going to hang out just for a second. Do I have any questions? I know we had some comments going on. Casey Watts had mentioned clarify all year long. Yes, ma'am. Amen, sister. You can't just do it one time. And Melissa said, admin are so busy. Finding time is crucial. And if you send that calendar invite for the entire year, guess what? They're going to make time. They just need to know in advance. You can't be doing any of this. Oh, today I need to talk to you right now. Schedule it. Melissa also, I didn't think adult learning was important, but it is. It so is, because there are a lot of similarities in pedagogy and andragogy. However, with adults, you're dealing more with egos. And that's something that I say all the time to the coaches I work alongside. You have people with multiple degrees. You have people with multiple of experiences. And we need to understand truly how to navigate that. So, like I said earlier, I hope you were able to glean something from today's conversation. Go to my website, visit my website if you have any more questions or want to learn more. Let me put that bad boy back up and send me an email, send me a DM. I'd love to hear from you. Have a wonderful day, my friends, and happy weekend. Talk to you later.